What's up, everyone? Hope everyone had a smooth, easy, short work week. Let's take a look at what happened in the markets last week. Dow Jones going up 3.7%, going from 24,465 to 25,383. Nasdaq going from 9,324 to 94.89. So you'll notice on the Nasdaq, we had a giant 2 days of selling, and it looks completely different from the Dow chart. Why is this? I think it's because of the month-end rebalancing we've been talking about for these large mutual funds and these pension funds. They need to sell what's been working, which has been tech, most of these Nasdaq names, and they need to buy what's not been working, like airlines, banks, and energy. And if you look at those charts, which I'm not going to show now, but feel free to look them up, those sectors were all up big. S&P 500 going up 3%, going from 29.55 to 30.44, breaking above that 200-day moving average we mentioned last week at 3,000. And if you look closely here, we actually dropped on Thursday after President Trump announced that he would have a news conference Friday about China, and we bounced off of that level, meaning we have moved above it and are looking at the next trading channel. So where exactly is this next trading channel? I think the bottom of the channel will be 3,000, and the top, it's kind of up in the air right now. You could see a previous high in early March of roughly 31.25. If we poke above that, I would expect the range to actually be from the old high of just below 3,400 to 3,000. So it could be a 10% trading range where we kind of drift up and drift down. And we should stay in that range, again, barring a breaking news headline, either a positive headline at the very top at 3,400 or a negative headline at 3,000, which will take us back down to the previous trading channels. So here are the two biggest headlines from this week. Number one, the tensions. So in the news conference, President Trump was relatively measured in my opinion. He spoke about how the U.S. would stop supplying the World Health Organization with funding, and he also said that Hong Kong would most likely stop receiving its special trade treatment. And finally, he was looking into restricting visas for Chinese students that were associated with the Chinese military. The other headline is obviously the protests and riots that have been going on. I'm going to try not to go into too much detail on that video because I try to keep this a non-political, non-social, non-opinion oriented video based solely on facts. So there are riots, there's some looting going on, and I think what not being noticed is that these large gatherings have the potential to bring the second wave of COVID-19, if you will. These people getting close to each other, possibly spreading it among themselves, among future family members that they contact. And also these riots and looting, they're hitting these businesses, many of which are mom and pop businesses. I don't know how many. None of us know how many. We just assume that it's a decent amount due to what the media is showing us. But these businesses have just reopened. Obviously, they're short and strapped for cash right now, and they need all the help they can get. And I don't think these riots and looters are helping. It's tough to say what the effect on the economy will be. We've seen these types of movements, these protests in the past, and the economy really didn't budge much. But due to the fact that we're coming off the entire country being closed, I think this may have a larger effect, more than just the economic impact, but also this could be the big second wave, or I should say the creation of the second wave that could send us down quite a bit in the markets. We got to keep an eye on that, but like I said, we got to stick to the chart until the trend breaks. So what stocks can we still buy? I'm going to stick with Microsoft. I think I recommended this the entire way down, and even at $130, which is where you could have entered. Right now, it's about $185, so if you got in at $130, congratulations. That's a pretty big gain. To my eye, this looks like an uptrend, a wedge that's about to break out to its all-time high of $191. So I think we have an easy $8 right now of gain up ahead, and I actually think we'll break to new all-time highs of over 200. Again, Microsoft it's a safe play whether COVID continues or if the economy continues to reopen and our fear of COVID subsides. We have Slack earnings this week, and I'd be really curious to see if Slack really has taken share from Microsoft Teams. I think Slack is just a wannabe, kind of like Snapchat was to Facebook, and I think Microsoft will absolutely destroy them. So let's see what happens with those earnings, but I expect Microsoft to go up regardless of COVID. Now, Abbott Labs, this one appears to have peaked above its recent downtrend. What does Abbott Labs do? Well, they have one of the fastest and most common COVID-19 tests out there. You can get a result in about 10 to 15 minutes, And we expect that this test, which is currently being mass produced, will be purchased by more and more governments and businesses and maybe even individuals themselves. It's yet to see the full extent of what this test can do, but we expect that until we get a vaccine, people will be using this test to see who can go back to work and help reopen the economy. Also, they have many brands that I'm sure you've heard of, including the Ensure drinks for diets, also Similac baby food, and the all-important Pedialyte. If the economy reopens, these bars and restaurants reopen, we are going to be needing that Pedialyte. So to conclude with our fun news for the week, and this is when you know like things are really getting serious. Monkeys in India stole coronavirus blood samples from a medical official who was walking in the campus of a state-run medical college in India. So apparently these monkeys grabbed and fled with the blood samples of 4 COVID-19 patients who are undergoing treatment, and the facility then had to retake the blood samples of those patients again. So now I don't know if this is like a conspiracy theory that somebody's going to expand upon, or if this is just fluky, or if this is just a sign that the world is ending, but I thought this is kind of interesting, kind of funny. Hopefully nothing happens to really spread COVID with this blood that's just now floating out there. We're assuming that the monkeys just threw it on the ground somewhere and that, this will just be a one-time issue. But if we have a troop of monkeys or multiple troops of monkeys continuing to steal COVID-19 blood, then this might be a bigger issue. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So thanks for tuning in to this week's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, let me know in the comments what you enjoyed, what you want me to look into more. And hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you next week.